Okay, cool. So yeah, so the first thing is that like you just have to have like a couple specific things done in order to be able to launch a server, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um, you go and create a user in AWS and IAM, and then that policy that I provide, um, what I'm trying to do is like a least privileges thing, right? So you just give me what like
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
right. I'm willing to bet that it could be even more least privileges, but I haven't like figured out the minimum possible, right?
Yeah.
Um, but so it's secure in that sense where you can just revoke the user and then boom, I have zero access, right? So you're talking about like, can I run this internally? I mean, once you revoke my user or you know, yeah, I mean, once you revoke my user, I'm almost dead. The other thing is that I initially, so you know how you have to create a key file, right? For a server, like an EC2 server,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So these key files I store in AWS secrets along with um, the AWS keys. So what you would have to do in order to completely detach me, because technically I could take that SSH key and I could, look in my database where you started the server and I know the username and I have an SS, so I could sneak into your infrastructure and explode everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you come in here and you hit the X, then that plus um, delete here completely removes me from being able to touch any of your infrastructure ever again. um,
Okay. All
so
right.
that I mean that and that is that like I that will completely block me. But here you can create a security group. Just like in EC2, if you just hit create with a name, it's gonna open up 22, 80, and 443 to the world, and that's it. And then
Mm-hmm.
here's server keys, obviously. And if you want to buy a domain inside of here, you can just fill this out. However, I would like to be able to add preview prices, but a .com is usually like 14 bucks. So I just hop in here every so often if
Hmm.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, actually, since we're recording it, let me just do it. So we'll United States here, and this is United States, and yeah, this is all in shiny, and we'll get to the end. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So I don't know what is a good name. Testing ndexr.com. Submit. Oop, an error occurred. Invalid input. Okay, well, not sure what happened, but we just bought that domain. Okay, yay!
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hopefully it goes through. Um, and then since we're at it, let's just do this. So we'll create that, and then we'll create that. So security group and keys. All right, now we can launch a server. So we'll go to our key name and security group. And then, just the very basic, this AMI here, this is the clone of like my
Mm-hmm.
my way of doing things. And then, you can pick a server size. So let's just play with let's do C6i, let's do 16 cores and 32 gigs of RAM. That's overkill, but why not? It's just going to be for a second anyways. So um, the server is launched. Now we can come over here and check out the servers. Let's see, which one did I start two? I don't think I did, but that might have been from earlier. So I'm just going to terminate this one. Then
Mm-hmm.
let's see here. Okay, refresh. Is it? Oh, it's thinking. Okay. This is actually something that I want to speed up a little bit more, and this
But
isn't.
can you actually, it's dependent on AWS infrastructure and how it's building the machines.
Say again. Oh, to some extent.
Can you actually
Wait. What do you mean? Can I what?
uh, actually speed this up? Uh, is it because
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
I thought
can.
that it's
That no, what I was just doing was something I could speed up substantially,
aha.
actually.
All
Yeah.
right.
No, no,
Okay.
no. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That yeah, because what I'm doing is I'm reading. So, assuming you keep the same file structure, the UI will update. And whenever I say file structure, I mean like my way of developing our projects is specific, but it's very good. Okay. So, the my thought process is if you're using this, then ideally you're trying to like learn a good way of project structure for developing and delivering our applications. And I feel like I've got it figured out. But I'll show you that, and then it'll make sense when you see. Um, we'll
Yeah.
circle
Sure.
back.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So
Yeah. Of
anyway, so
course. Of
we've
course.
got we've got no domains yet on this server. Um, I'm still working on the UI here in a couple spots, and I'll show you because yeah. So, anyways, I'm rambling. All right. So let's do this. We're gonna check out the server here, and so this is where I say that the UI. I think right now what you're seeing is it's kind of like metamorphizing into the right
Hmm.
structure and the right display, but right now I'm grouping the things together that need to be grouped together, and then we'll create a better UI. Um, but
It's okay. Yeah. Sure.
but if you look here, right? So manager, so manager is the default project, okay? And then manager has let's just step into it. So we're going to go ahead and just link that domain. If I did Albert R earlier, and then let's see, do we have that domain in here yet? I don't see yours, so I'm gonna restart it. That's the one thing that I need to do is the DNS data, like from um, Route 53 is read once, and if I
Hmm.
have it read again after a domain is created, then I could fill up those selectors. Okay, so servers, refresh. Let's see if that um, let's see if that domain came in. Testing ndexr.com. There it is. All right. Boop boop.
Perfect.
So I'll hit connect domain, and it should be talking to that server and updating the Nginx configurations on it. And it's going to store it on that, like all that's stored on the server, right? Your Docker Compose um, stuff is like updated appropriately, right? Um, and then you're going to
Impressive.
have like Nginx set up with Docker Compose with your R application with our Studio server already, and you're going to be put right in the front seat where you have, God damn it, hold on. Fail to authenticate some domains. Hold on. DNS problem. Oh, I think that hold on. DNS record exists. Make sure that DNS. Let me just try this one more time. I might
Yeah,
need
sure.
to fix something. This has
It's
been
a tricky with the domains. Yeah, it's
well.
It's
I will say that that has been some of the most challenging programming that I've done, but um, it should be that I've run into new things now that I've been messing around with IPv6 is the thing. So I feel
uh-huh.
like it's still okay. So what's going on here? AA DNS because it's looking for IPv6. However, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be trying to do that right now. Let me. All right, testing ndexr. Listen, 80. Listen. So okay, let's see here. Okay. Well, do you have a moment?
Yeah,
Do you
sure,
want to
sure. Please
debug
go
with
ahead.
me and then see if we can fix it real quick? All right.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So now I can show you what my code looks like.
You're
All right.
recording, not me,
No,
so
oh no
I'm
no no
okay.
no no. It's all good. I'm just worried about your time, but I have plenty. Um,
No worries.
okay. So I'm gonna log in here and we're gonna figure out what's going on. So the thing is um, so we can see here, right? So this is one of the Docker Compose files,
Mm-hmm.
and we're running a command down here, um, and okay, so I'll show you where this code is, and then we'll take a look at it. So UI HTTP UI.
And you're running RStudio within AWS from what I see, right?
Uh-huh,
It's
yeah,
an
and it
R
turns on that
RStudio
server
server.
too. No, you'll have it on the server too.
Wow.
So let me see here. Console. Okay, just a second. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
I can show you how I work too, which is fun. Um, and actually, since we're here, let's just talk through the project, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, so I'm gonna put some deep some browsers around here, okay? So um, and here's the thing: whenever we're talking about project structure, okay, it's the exact same here as it is on that server, right? It's very specific, okay? So here's this manager, right? Now you're gonna find that this folder here is much cleaner on yours.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm I'll be adding it some things. So basically, what people are getting is like a stripped down version of all of my junk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Makes sense.
so if we okay, so if we look here, ls serve. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so like this is my work code, right? This is the nginx certbot code for my computer here.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is what you get, I guess, starting out, and then obviously if you see something here and we need a feature or something, I can add that in.
Mm-hmm.
IDEs are like VS Code and RStudio running inside of a container already kind of set up if you wanted to do that. ndexr is obviously my stuff. Network is um, it's another um, gateway, and then
Mm-hmm.
QSI that's some work stuff. Okay, but if I and all of these, okay, are you familiar with Docker Compose?
Yes, in the yeah, I'm not expert, but I use Docker Compose to host the app that I told you, and
Okay, so but
to for SSL and for my image to work. That's how I use it
so
with
you've
nginx simple
done
file.
Docker Compose up, Docker Compose down. You know that you can
Yeah.
start one to end projects, right? So okay, um, so each one of these is a Docker Compose folder, a folder with
Oh,
Docker
okay.
Compose, right? And then each one of those Docker Compose projects will have a services folder, which is for your individual containers and Docker files. Okay. So if we go into the serve, right, serve, um, we'll look at gateway here. If we look at this compose, I think I can, yeah. Um, you can see here that here's this build, okay? So you're going to see this in like every single, um, well, there's two things here, okay? Nginx is your front end to all of those various projects on that server, or if you want to send them somewhere else to another server, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's running in host mode. Nginx is running in host mode. All of the other containers are not. I have um, I have explored using Nginx not running in host mode, trying to communicate with other Docker containers, and it gets really nasty because what you end up doing um, is you can run into, well, if you want, load balancing gets very complicated because you're not load
Mm-hmm.
balancing by port, then you're load balancing by host name. So um, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's look at what nginx um, actually, let's just say that that's this one, okay. And if
Mm-hmm.
we, okay, so if we go into gateway and then services, right, boom, here's nginx, right, and then there's a docker file, and then in this Docker file here, right, I'm copying two things over. There's this, okay, so I have some bad names for things, actually. Um, I'm not going to fix that right now, but um, anyways,
It's all right if you have it. Yeah, at some point you can build
it's
proper documentation.
make file compose Docker file, right? And that
Mm-hmm.
and the folder structure matters, right? So these are all going to have your compose projects, right? So let's go into ndexr, and then here's service. Let's look at the compose file here. Okay, so I think you're gonna love this. Okay, you're gonna love this. Okay, seriously, I'm so pumped because I don't feel like anyone writes R like this, or has set up projects like this, and it's almost like champagne. Like let the ship like break it on the edge. Okay, I'm serious.
Cool.
You're gonna love this crap. Okay, all right. Okay, um, indexr.io. Okay. Oh, oh shit. What did I do here?
That was about to
Hold
ask
on.
you.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Make up proj equal to gateway. Wait, no, it's up, right? So indexr.io is up. 404 not found. That's really interesting. Can I go to console? Oh, you know what I might have done? Hold on. Let's just look at it. So serve indexr. Um, we're gonna have to come back to the cool stuff. The anticipation is. I'm seriously so excited to show you this. You're gonna lose
yeah, sure,
you're
sure.
gonna lose your crap. Um, okay, we need to look at Nginx because something's going on. And okay, well, a couple things. How much time do you have? Because if you have time, then I'm
Uh,
going to go into depth,
20,
and I can explain a lot of things.
24 minutes, literally.
24?
Uh, 24, yeah. I have
Okay.
to jump out at, yeah,
Yeah,
for,
it's 3 o'clock my time. Next
yeah,
hour, right? Okay, that's fine.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And we can
So
always book
no,
another
no, I know.
slot
Yeah,
in the coming days. So no worries about
yeah, yeah. No, I gotcha. So we'll just see where we get, but I think that if I go in depth, you'll appreciate it. Um, okay, so config nginx sites enabled. That's the weird thing that I need to fix because there's too many folders.
it.
And it's a little bit too dirty and it's not clean because big part of this is like you should have a very simple but clear like directory structure of how applications should exist on your server or servers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and having to go from um, server gateway services nginx config nginx sites enabled, that's gross, right? And I could remove this config and this nginx and just have sites enabled, but I haven't done that yet. So nginx sites enabled.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why is because there's also this source, um, and you, so your nginx is a web server, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably going to also want to do web server like things occasionally. So like you can host a static site, or you
Mm-hmm.
can, for example, in this images right here, these are all the images that I have like for my various sites. But there's an important one, which is this ndexr logo.png. And the reason why is because, and I'll show you here, whenever you want to share on social, right? You're going to want that like
Mm-hmm.
link of your page to look good. And so like if you see here, right, like comes up as index art, right?
Aha,
Right.
yeah.
Like so um that's being served by this backend site of Nginx where it can do the other stuff outside of just Shiny, right? Um,
Yep.
so I can copy in those images into Nginx and then, but that seeing the web server like whatever. Anyways, so okay, next.
All right. Yeah, sure,
Okay,
sure.
so now we're still now the question is what the heck is going on? Um, I'm halfway tempted to just do this and then rebuild. Maybe I just did something stupid. Um, so right, that one's popped back up. No, not found. Okay. All right. So if we go, okay, if I don't solve this in the next 2 minutes, then I'm gonna move on. But I think
Sure.
that now I'm gonna, okay, manager, serve, gateway, services, nginx, the bad thing, sites enabled, indexr.io. So if you look here, I think that okay, so here's some things that I'm working on with the site. I hit I clearly hit update when I shouldn't have. So I need like, do you want to terminate this instance? Do you want to upload this file, right? Like there's little checks. Right now I'm kind of building it for myself. And clearly
Mm-hmm.
that's what just happened because so here's Nginx. Here's my nginx config for the front end, and this should say proxy pass that.
All right.
And this is actually from the ndexr site. So whenever you're like creating a load balancer, you're familiar with this part with nginx.
No, but I know that there is ECS load balancer, so I
Okay, no, no,
guess it's
no, no.
similar.
This is your load balancer here, right? This is
Okay.
probably how they're building it anyways. It's nginx, right? Um, but basically, you can't have a copy. Like if you have multiple files, you can't have multiple upstreams like of the same name. So
Mhm.
it just gives a random. But like if you felt like you had to update it, then I mean you could. But if I proxy pass, and this needs to say HTTP that, and then probably this as well, and then we'll update. Okay, so it's been less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and I solved it. So, um,
Impressive.
well, we'll call it impressive if it turns on here. Okay, yes. Okay, so we're good. All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's impressive.
okay, so next thing, the exciting stuff, the fun stuff, right? Make Dexar. I'm gonna just rebuild the site just to see. Oh, and here, right here, there's some other stuff here. Um, I don't have this built in yet, but like I can. There's different ways of securing your applications. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
one might be IP restriction, right? So you get the IP address of wherever you're at, and you say, if you see this IP address, remember me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then let me in. But if I go anywhere else in the world, then I can't get in unless I do the same thing, right? Now, the thing with that is if there's a bad guy who really needs access to your server, he's going to have to figure out how to get into the same like location as you, right? The IP address that you present to the world is probably an IP address that other people share. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, on my home network, um, my phone and my computer and all the other computers, whenever they are connected to the Wi-Fi and they present to the world, the IP address is the same. All right. So my point is that like the IP address that you show to the world is not necessarily um, it can vary. It can vary a lot. Whenever I'm on my phone, I'll see that my location is other side of Houston because there's something over there that's right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's one way, and then the other way is you can have like a password, right? So nginx, you can create a password front so that only if you know the password, you make it complicated enough, then um,
Mm-hmm.
you could have that
I
option
think it's
as well.
better option by password.
Right.
Um, yeah,
So
practicality.
right, right. And then the other thing that I do in the site is you can log into the site and push a button, and your IP address will be whitelisted to your server wherever you're at.
Cool.
So you can say, I'm here, I don't want to use a password, trust this location.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're talking about the password to use the ndexr app, which has nothing to do with if you install an application within ndexr that can be managed by Cognito of AWS, right? It's
Right,
two
right. So
different
you could,
things.
it's
Yeah.
right. So me as an R developer, I want to be able to log in quickly and like do stuff.
Yeah.
But then on that other side of things, I'm going to make it super secure. So the other side of this is
Exactly.
you really do want to turn on two-factor.
Yep.
Treat it like your AWS account for security,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
because you can, yeah. Okay. So the fun stuff, and we have 15 minutes, so we have plenty of time. All right, so let's look at this. Services, Nginx, gateway, blah, blah, blah. More, go to working directory. Okay, check this out.
Okay.
Okay, so what does this look like here, right? Just what's going on right here?
You're asking me?
Well, yeah, very high level. What is it? We're creating it like a
Yeah.
Docker Compose variable,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this
Um,
common properties, right? Common properties,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this sense, what we're trying to do is kind of like abstract away the decision making and minimize only what you should think about, right? Um,
Sounds good.
okay, so one is for your particular project, and the template project that you turn on is built the exact right. It's all built. I'm
Mm-hmm.
showing you things that are common except for the very specific site things. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So here, right? You let me also update something here. Maybe I should be showing this side by side because I have my site open, and then it also should correspond with what we're looking at right here, right? Because this is kind of like my companion app for my actual development,
Aha.
right? So it's kind of like I kind of need this to be able to do the other stuff, but did I just break something? Oh my God. I think I did. Okay, hold on. Close alter. You know what? I think that this is exactly what I was working on. Docker container. Docker container logs f. All right, I have another 3 minute dev and then console dash one. Nope. Two, three, four. What did I do here? Okay. App session start. Right. Okay. Yes. Just a second.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna revert real quick.
Mm-hmm. I got
So
it. Yeah.
make it'll be fine. So these commands that I'm running are set up to run on your server, right? So I go to that root
Mm-hmm.
directory or whatever, and I say, if I say make build up index, project is equal to ndexr, then in in that server folder, maybe I should make that more specific. Serve is equal to, just to simplify language. Um, that's actually a good idea. But okay, so let's go back here because I should. Looks like it's still thinking or rebuilding.
So you have one container for ndexr, the site that serves the site, and you have another one for the console, right? There are two separate apps that are actually working together.
This is where it's getting interesting. Okay.
Okay.
So here it's turning back on. Looks like I fixed it. Um, okay. Yeah, because I was getting ahead of myself with some stuff. Um, okay. Check this out. Options. Okay. This is the big thing. Okay. This what we have here is it's kind of weird. Okay. Because let's think about the pathway. Um, so gateway's Nginx here. Okay. At least for what I'm doing. Okay. And then ndexr. If we look at these, actually, okay, gateway. Um, oh, nope, this is why I was going to open this up. So let me go to here. boom, boom. And then I'm going to show you down here. Okay, yep, perfect. Because okay. So here's the thing. Here's the point that I'm trying to say. Shiny is a system that manages modules. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
are you familiar? You're familiar with modules?
Yeah.
Okay, modules can contain modules, which contain
All right.
modules, which contain modules which run in a loop, which contain modules which run in a loop, which contain modules, and
All
on and
right.
on and on
I
and
didn't
on.
know that.
Okay, okay. Now here's the other thing. An entire Shiny application can be contained in a module.
Wow.
So that means a single Shiny application can manage multiple applications which are like infinitely complex. And that is the truth. Okay? So what I have is one
Okay.
Docker file in this sense, one Shiny application managing ndexr.io, console.ndexr.io. Okay. Um, Goodle Schools, which is a friend of mine who owns um, a, like a school in Thailand, right? And then I'm working on her login and stuff over here.
Wow.
This Karn
Okay.
properties, okay, right? Boom. That right. And these are like simple kind of like things that I'm side jobs. So we're doing this run app, right? But then we're just swapping out the oops, we're just swapping out the options here. And let me show you what that looks like in real life. Um, so for me, I have this. We're not. I'm gonna fix the HTTPS stuff, but um,
It's okay.
yeah, we haven't quite got to that. But um, so we can start the site. But let me show you this. If I go to maybe we will fix that. Let's go to source. Okay, here is my UI. Okay, for for this application, and then here's my server. Okay, now the UI, it just contains the UI component of a module. Okay, the server
Mm-hmm.
contains shared logic between all of my sites, which is like storing all of that user information right here in the server, right? Collecting all this from Nginx, and then I'm running the server module for that particular site. And I know that because I know the domain that the person requests from Nginx, right? So Nginx catches the domain because here's the other thing. A server has a single IP address, but there's nothing preventing you from having 10 domains on a single server, right? You
Okay.
have 10 domains which you have. Are you familiar with the A record in Route
Um,
53 DNS A record? So it's
not
basically it's the process in which you associate a domain which you own to an IP address of
to
a
IP.
server, right?
Okay, I didn't know
It,
it's called that way. Okay.
yeah, and,
All right.
and and that's what this automatically does, which I'm going to fix here in a second. But I probably won't be able to
Okay.
show you, but I'll keep recording and I'll fix it, and then I'll deploy it, and then I'll finish the video and show it to you. But
Okay.
because of that, I know what site someone. Well, actually, it's not because of that. It's because of the fact that ooh. Okay, so here's the thing. I actually just figured out a way to make this even simpler to where like you don't have to update Nginx at all to be able to scale your applications over multiple domains. Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add that here because instead,
Okay,
okay, because what's happening right now is I'm picking up the domain here, right? So I know if you've asked for ndexr.io or console.ndexr.io or any of those domains, but instead of adding the option, right here, instead of adding all of this, I can just have one statement for every single one of my different sites, which would be something that you would want too, because
sweet.
then you only have one place to update um, your load balancer for every single site you have. That's so cool. I'm so excited to do that. Okay. Um, but okay, so what is going on with this code? Um, and that's the question. Okay. So we have 4 minutes and get branch. I need to go back to the branch that I need to fix.
Mm-hmm.
V1.06.0010 get stash. Okay.
Oh, how many years do you build that?
This application, I've been thinking about it for
As
about 10 because that's about how long I've
wow.
been I was presented the problem of build or buy, posit connect. Okay, see, okay, I think I know what's going on here. Okay. I was proposed the question of should we buy our Studio Connect or should we build it our own way? And I was right out of college and I wanted to build it. And that was the first like really big complicated thing that I had to do as a dev outside of school. And I got fixed on that problem because our Studio Connect was so goddamn expensive. We were spending like $50,000 a
Yes.
year on that software. And I was like, I just did it myself. And I just showed that you could scale this stuff. And you guys still want to like pay them all of this money. Um, and so like there was so much more that I had to learn from there. Like it would have worked for our internal stuff, I think, but like I've just been stuck on that and just good R like development and project structure. Um, so so yeah, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
What you end up getting is the front end of that server, which um, hold on, you have 2 seconds. Let me just do this, okay?
Yeah, please.
Console.indexr.io. Okay. I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna log in as an account that isn't messing with IPv6 because that's the problem. My
Okay.
particular my particular account is broken, but I have 1 minute to see if I can convince. Okay, this is let's. Okay, all right. I need to come here. Um, test group, test group. Okay, start. Let's do a big server. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, start server. Dismiss. All right,
While
servers.
you're doing that, one question
Yeah,
about scalability in terms of elastic compute, because
right here. You see, you can just modify the instance size and then scale it up with the configs. You just
can
reboot,
that be done
reboot it.
automatically?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Just hit modify and boom, it's done. So you can scale up or down, right? And all your stuff stays the same. So okay, so here's what I'm doing. Trying to do really quick. One, my IPv6 is a bitch, and that's what I'm having to deal with. But we just turned the server on. Okay, give me like 3 seconds. If you're a minute late,
Yeah,
it's
please.
it's gonna be okay. Because I really want to show you this. Um, and if it fails, then I'll buy you food. Okay, it should. What's going There we go. Okay, so okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, f.com connect domain, and it's going. I don't know how many F's there were, but EFFFD.com. EFFFD.com. Okay, it's going through and doing certbot stuff. Not quite there.
Yeah,
Right
should be
there.
fine.
Well, that should. We'll see here in a second if it does it.
It restarts. It should pop up in a second.
Well, it looks like it. It says that it did it right. Oh, there it is. HTTPS. Okay, and then RStudio. Right. Forbidden. However, um, this is where I have to update this. But what I can do here is I can come in here, go to the configuration, and then very quickly go to the this configuration. I'm not going to do IPv6 right now, but I'm just going to update this so that we can get into it. Update,
Mm-hmm.
boom, and then rebuild. And hopefully here in a second, we're able to um, get in. And then I'm going to say password for Ubuntu, and then Ubuntu PASSWORD, sign in, close, and then we're inside of the our project, which is delivered on the front of the server here. And you can immediately start to like gut this and then put your own stuff up with like the
Well,
same IP address stuff and the same database and all that, right? I'm literally giving me my entire process, and I've cleaned it up enough to where I can just show this to you. But the thing is that all of that different site stuff, right? Like we're picking the domains. Oh, I'm going to clean that up. But anyways, so that's what it is. You're 2 minutes over. Thank you so much for those 2 minutes. I'm going to
no,
fix
my
my stuff,
pleasure.
but let me know what you're thinking, and then we'll talk about stuff.
Yeah, I, sup- I suppose we should meet again.
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't know, based on your availability, I know it's too late right now, like 12 a.m. or 1 a.m.
it's 3 a.m., but
morning.
I'm up for the rest of the night.
Three.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry about well, yeah,
No, no,
I,
I've got a friend in Thailand that I'm working on a business with, so it's fine.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's not because of me. Okay,
No, no.
that's a relief.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I guess just hold on a second to